All right, so let me give you an example of part one of a backwards reflection, which is the main part, which is reflecting backwards for an event, starting with what went wrong. So I'm starting off with a situation that really happened. I'm not going to go into explicit detail because that wouldn't be appropriate, but where I got in trouble because of an email I sent to my boss. So we start with that, okay? So what happened right before that? Well, I wrote an angry email about something I thought my boss did and sent it, okay? Angry email, used some words that weren't 100% professional. I wasn't, cussing them out or anything like that, but also just didn't write it in a way that I normally would, okay, because I was angry. So what happened right before I sent that email? Well, I got angry because a coworker of mine told me that something the boss had said to them in a meeting that I thought was messing me up, was kind of getting in the way of my own work, and I was mad that the boss never said anything to me about it, all right? So before that happened, before I got angry, I was meeting with a coworker, right, and talking to them, and they asked me, and I asked them about the boss meeting, which actually I didn't need to do, but I was kind of nervous about it, so I asked them, and then they told me, right? And then finally, going one step back, before that meeting, I was doing my work and everything was all good. So key thing is, in a backwards reflection, start with, again, what went wrong, the situation you're trying to figure out how to avoid in the future, and then just back up, going what happened right before that, right before, until you get to a point when everything was all good and it had nothing to do with the problem that happened. The more detail you get into, obviously, the better. And again, really doing those fine steps. What happened right before that, right? I could have just said, oh, I got angry and wrote an email as one step, but it's actually a separate thing. I wrote an email while angry, and what made me get angry was a separate step, so that's why I'm detailing it here. So hopefully that makes sense. It's pretty simple. You can do it this way. If you like to draw instead, you could actually draw a picture. I've done that before. But just making sure you start with the big thing, the problem, and then you work backwards from there.